You ever get sunburn?
Yesterday.
You got sunburn yesterday?
I did.
Where'd you go? The beach?
The beach, yeah.
Which one?
We call it Pirate Ship Park. I have no idea what it's actually
called. Oh, that's Santa Monica.
Yeah, in Santa Monica.
Yeah, Santa Monica. Right by Annenberg.
On the other side of the pier. Like the same distance.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, 100%. When's the last time you got sunburn? Cancun.
I usually only get sunburn one time. It's the first time.
Boom. And then the rest you're just building on.
I'm like, I will survive this pain because I know the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
Is that called a base tan?
That's called a base tan. But my base tan is just like a base red.
Did you ever do tanning beds?
All the time.
Oh, those are the days.
When I was in high school, my anatomy teacher said, when you lay in a tanning bed, you're not just, letting those rays hit your skin. It's going to your ovaries and your intestines.
Whoa.
I said, never
This is
again.
a lot. This is a lot.
Did you do tanning beds?
Yo, of course I did. Are you kidding me? There was a lot of people in our youth ministry back in the day that worked at these things, and I would go there and I would... 100%. We were in Washington, so it's just like
you guys needed
just,
a tan.
They sold it as vitamin D.
This is vitamin D.
Stop.
And just the smell.
I loved the whole thing.
I love
the smell. The smell is so strong.
Yeah,
it's like an Aqua de Gio punch in the polo face.
Were you like putting on like the tanning lotion and everything?
No. Just burn.
Just a straight bed
Just
situation.
a burn. Yesterday, I tried to get sunburn yesterday. I was going for it. It didn't work. I failed miserably.
Wow.
But I was like, I'm going to sit out and I would like to get burnt today. Mm-hmm. And we were out there for a long time. I could feel the lack of success while I was there.
At the beach or at the house?
At the beach.
Yeah.
I was going for the burn.
Yeah.
We were in Newport. I wanted to get burnt. Let's get burnt today. Now, every morning I put sunscreen on my face. Mm-hmm. I've been doing that for a little bit now.
You have to.
You have to.
That's so good.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Julia makes me do this because I got sunspots. But I didn't put on any sunscreen. I wanted to get burnt and it didn't happen. But nevertheless, is that a great feeling when you're just out there in the sun?
Yes, it is.
Right?
It feels
such
so
a good
good.
feeling.
It's a great feeling. Just getting pummeled.
Yep.
Just getting pummeled.
Yep.
Okay, but how good you could just lay out in the sun, not do anything, but then when you get home, the nap after a long day in the sun,
oh gosh,
is unreal.
I was looking forward to my nap, but unfortunately, Julia made me stop at the CB2. That's Crate and Barrel 2.
After the beach.
Oh,
after the beach.
I heard about this.
Then she was like, "Let's go get dinner." So I'm getting home 7:30, 8. I missed my nap window. It would have been fantastic if we were local, Manhattan Beach. Could have had the nap. Missed the nap.
Easy.
Nevertheless, my whole house is asleep by 8:45.
Yep.
Because the nap window missed. You go to bed early.
Yes.
100%.
The problem with going to bed early, you wake up at 2 a.m.
Yep.
And you're awake. And I feel completely rested.
Did your Aura ring tell you you recovered?
I'm not on Aura anymore. I'm doing this guy.
Oh, the Garmin.
I'm a big
Garmin.
Garmin guy now.
Wow.
I'm a watch guy.
GG.
Yeah, it's a Rolex Garmin. That guy, it's like, no, it's not. It's a Garmin.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's a Rolly, man.
He's like custom.
Where my wealth? My wealth is
digital.
right here. Let's start the thing. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We are back. Another episode of Leadership Lean In. We are a bunch of leaners. We are specifically leaning into the subject of leadership. We're trying to get better. We want to lead better, serve better, add, encourage, love, bless, help. That's what a leader is. A leader is a servant, and we want to be the best servant leaders in the world. Thank you so much for being a leader. Thank you so much for subscribing to our podcast. Some have called us a nation.
Tons of people have. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you say tons, like 10?
I think just us.
I've heard you call us a nation.
Well, I specifically do it every time. No one has called us a nation, but we call ourselves a nation of leaners. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to get better. We cannot promise. It's impossible to promise perfection, but by golly gosh darn it, we're going to promise progress. We're going to get better. And so today we're going to help get you better. Let us know, as always. And by the way, last episode,
Yep.
somebody in our government,
A leaner.
a nation, took a shot at Nate Dogg.
They
They
did.
did.
And the glowing response for Maddie. Teacher Maddie gets glowing remarks.
The girl in white.
The girl in the
All
white,
names.
but she has a name, Miss Maddie. Teacher Maddie. But Nate Dogg The words I saw were nervous
Tense.
and tense. They stood out to me.
Better behind the camera.
I think he
Face for-
prefers to be behind the camera. Like,
Were they saying that you're like made for radio?
I don't know. I'll take it. They must be an audio listener.
Maybe you know what? Maybe they just want to hear more from you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it.
Maybe
We'll take that perspective.
maybe we're suffocating your gift. Maybe we're drowning out your voice. I apologize.
Now that we're here, there's a few things I wanted to
So
bring
this
up.
episode, when I look to you like this,
Yeah.
that means
you.
it's your time to speak.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe
Thank
you just need
give
to-
me permission a little bit more clearly.
Yeah, just be a ball hog, man.
We're going to take a quick break from our leadership lean in because we want to shout out one of our sponsors. Look, we love Mosh Bars. I'm not just saying that. This might be my favorite protein bar of all time.
Yeah, it's really good. The chocolate chip happens to be my personal favorite. It tastes like cookie dough.
I was going to say it tastes like a dessert, like I'm cheating.
Yes.
Like a treat,
That's
if you
true.
will. My kids call them treats.
Aw.
And my wife and I, we try to trick our kids into convincing them that protein bars are like, desserts.
Treats.
And they love Mosh Bars. I love Mosh Bars because it's good for you,
Yep.
not just a protein. It's good for your mind. It's good for your brain. It's brain food.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think that I'm not really much of a protein bar girl, but you put a Mosh bar in front of me, I'm gonna eat it.
People call me a protein bar guy when they look at me.
Oh.
They say Nate's a real protein bar guy, and they wouldn't think that if it wasn't for Mosh. Like, where's this going? But okay, we want to give the leaners, we want to give our small nation, if you will, a little bit of a gift in mosh bars.
Mosh bars.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna read this to you directly because I don't want to mess it up because we're serious about our Mosh bars around here. So if you want to find ways to give back to others and fuel your body and your brain, Mosh bars are the perfect choice for you. Head to moshlife.com/LLI to save 20% off plus free shipping on the Best Sellers trial pack. That's 20% off plus free shipping. That's kind of crazy. On the Best Sellers trial pack. So that is Moshlife, MOSHLIFE.com/LLI. Thank you, Mosh, for sponsoring this episode.
Today we're talking about the 5 team cancers. These are cancers to stay away from. These are things, and they're all C's. These are things to stay away from, steer clear. They're going to crush you. They're going to crush your team. I think one of the great things about being a leader is the greatest thing you will ever do as a leader is build a great team.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be the greatest accomplishment of your life is to build a great team. In order to build a great team, like building a great life or a great marriage, it comes with much resistance. It takes much energy, much effort, many conversations. We got to follow up. We got to work hard. And within that is just making sure we get the wrong stuff out so we can get the right stuff in. I want to talk to you about 5. These are team killers. These are cancers to the team. Number 1, competing with each other. Keep competition on the outside, but we keep collaboration on the inside.
Yeah.
So we want to work together. We want to be good teammates and we want to be good supports and be a good help, but we don't want to compete. I have come to the realization as a leader, I am only competing in life with myself, with my potential, my gift, who I could become, what I could develop. I'm not in competition with anybody else on the team. And the lie is to believe that I'm working hard so that I can beat so-and-so. I'm working hard so that, this goes back all the way to the disciples. Who's the greatest?
Right.
They're competing all the way back then. Hey, can we get the VIP seat? And I just think let competition be out there. If they want to compete with us, it's their business. For us in here, we are working together. We are collaborating. And I think when you see teammates as partners, when you see teammates as the greatest avenue or way to develop success, then it's like, how do I serve you? How do I help you? How do I come alongside? I'm going to make sure that I do my part to the best of my ability. And I think if I do well and I lean into your world to see if you need help and we work together, we can accomplish great things together.
Yeah.
I like this saying, I can do hard things.
Yeah.
I see that a lot right now.
Yeah.
I can do hard things. But I'm convinced when you're a leader, you believe we can do hard things together.
Yeah.
You got to get out of that me into we and go, it's all about collaboration. The math of collaboration equals multiplication. It multiplies out what you do. And so I want to encourage you today, just kill the competition.
Yeah, I think I don't compete with people that I really care about. So it's like a huge emphasis, I feel like, in any team is knowing each other outside of just like your work.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, I don't feel competition with you because I care about you and I care about your success and our success.
Yeah.
So for me, there's no reason to be like, well, I'm going to be better than this person. Because
That's right.
I want us to both be great because I care about you.
That's right.
Do you think for really highly competitive people, it's healthy for an organization to create to create competition, but not with each other, if that makes sense?
100%.
Like how do you, I'm a very competitive person. Julia is so competitive.
Dear God.
How do you build in, competition without it being against each other?
Well, I think you got to define who your competition is. If you don't define it correctly, I'm going to make you my competition.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're supposed to be my teammate. We are together the collaboration that I'm talking about. So when we collaborate, we're great. It's multiplication. It's game over. It's like, woo, mosh deal. Let's go. Great bar. But if I treat you as my competition, then I'm trying to size you up, minimize you, trying to put my head taller. It's just a weird, small way to live. So I just think it's going like, what is my competition? Well, first, my potential is my first competition. That's who I'm really competing with. The second one is I'm competing in my work. I'm competing with darkness, evil.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it comes to leadership leading, I'm competing with apathy. What's that word that I love right now? That the killer of church is oh gosh, help me. The killer of church is indifference. Thank you.
Indifference.
That's my competition.
Yeah. I think this is something that you bring up every staff meeting as well. Last year is our competition.
Last year, I'm trying to get better.
Yeah.
I love that about Bill Simmons. I listened to a podcast of Bill Simmons recently, and he was like, every year we made the decision we wanted to go bigger, want to do something new, want to do something fresh, scale it. And so every year they come with a new idea because we don't want Groundhog's Year. So you got to accurately define your competition. Otherwise, you'll make the wrong people your competition.
So true.
Number 2, complaining. Oh my gosh.
I hate complainers.
Yeah.
I hate being a complainer.
I have tons of complaints about complainers. It's just that whole thing, leadership to me is about spirit and attitude. It's like I tell my boys, our 2 rules are, number 1, have a positive attitude, be a good brother.
Yeah.
And where that gets violated is complaining. And you got to be careful. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
You will look so good as a leader just to shut your mouth. The proverb here is, even a fool looks wise when he is silent. So if you are hangry, or if you are tired, or if you are offended, or if you are in a weird season, just don't talk a lot.
Yeah.
Because that complaint, the thing about words, what I love so much about language is I see words as seeds. I know when I'm speaking, I am seeding people with belief,
That's right.
hope, confidence, possibility, future, promise, potential. I'm speaking that. This is why I think Joel Osteen is so great at his job. Joel Osteen gets up there and he's speaking. You can do what it said it could do. And this is my Bible. And I know that you're up against a test or a storm, but greater is he that's within you than he that's within the world. I love you, Pastor Joel. You are my hero, and I want to be like you. And I want to have the faith that you have, and I'm trying to grow my hair out to look like yours. But anyways, I love
that segment.
It's my guy. I love Pastor Joel with all my heart. But his words are seeding people. So the reason why people listen, I know so many people that don't go to church to listen to Pastor Joel. I know so many people that are like, I listen to Pastor Joel on my way into work, on my way back from work, Sirius XM radio. Why? Because it's seed language. It's seeding possibility. When I think you've got a cancer on your team is someone that's seeding, they're sowing discord, they're sowing doubt, they're sowing slander. And what I notice about people that have this cancer, the cancer of complaining, is they're never overt. They're never like a bear that breaks down your door. It's always
sneaky
That's
slander. It's always quiet cancer. It's always I always believe there's power in comments.
Mm.
You ever had somebody make a comment to you that just made you think about it for 3 days?
Yeah.
You said, oh, they made this comment. And they said this comment. They made this comment in passing it.
And it's usually not just 3 days. If it's a comment that sticks with you for more than 30 minutes, it's going to stick with you.
It's going to stick with you. And so I think complainers are rarely the people that are just like, crazy complainers.
Yeah.
It's quiet quitting, it's quiet complaining. Right. You got to be careful. To me, it's self-control. It's self-discipline. Yeah. I'm a leader. I understand how powerful my words are. I measure them out. I make my words count.
Yeah.
That's leadership. You got cancer on your team. People are going like, I could care less. I'm loose. I'm talking. I'm sewing. I'm going. Could care. That to me is a scary person to have on your team.
Yeah. Communication. This is why communication is so important. I was listening to this podcast the other day where someone was like, I'm finally getting into this healthy point of communication where I can say to my partner or my family or my friends, like, hey, I'm actually really irritable right now. Yeah. So I can't have this conversation.
Yep.
Or I'm actually like so annoyed with you and what you've done that like I can't, this is not a productive
it's not gonna be
conversation good for me. So like, can we approach this with, this is the problem, here's the solution, which is different than a complaint.
Yes.
Complaining is just problem with no offer to solution.
That's right.
So if you are someone who is a complainer, what solutions are you providing to what you're complaining about?
Huge.
It's really good. Chad on our team, Chad and Ryan, he showed me this TikTok. It's this leader, and they take normal, everyday, good leadership stuff, and they go, this is how you turn it into great. So instead of going to your leader and saying, hey, is there anything that you need? Is there anything I can do for you? First of all, that puts your leader in a place where I got to start looking for problems. I got to become a complainer to, hey, here's 3 things I'm working on. Which one is the priority for you?
That's so good.
And it just makes you go like, you're removing any opportunity for complaint.
That's it.
Now you're not looking for problems. Hey, here's what it is. These are the solutions I'm working on. So good. And I'll send you the TikTok.
I would like to watch it. I'm back on
TikTok.
It's a whole thing. Very excited. 21 days are over. But I always think, like in the Old Testament, the grumblers in the desert didn't get to go into the promised land.
That's right.
So it's always the gripers. It's always the complainers that don't get to walk in their full potential or our full potential. So what I found about complaining is it sabotages your future. It doesn't just take others out. It affects people. Your words have so much power. They affect people more than you could ever imagine.
That's so good.
So they don't just affect them, but greatly they affect you and your reputation.
Yeah.
Here's a third one, criticism, criticizing. And I just think, I believe in that word or that saying, constant criticism creates constant insecurity. So if you want your team to constantly feel valued, constantly feel cherished, constantly feel secure, it's going to have to take a lot of encouragement and a lot of support. Remember, for every one negative comment or negative complaint, you've got to erase that with 8 deposits.
Wow.
So you got to ask yourself in your relationship equity line, do you have equity to make that withdrawal? So stop criticizing. It's so easy. I have to battle myself because the way that my mind thinks, I live in criticism of myself, of the organization, of team, I just see improvements all over. I'm never just like, we're satisfied. I'm so excited. It's like, it's very few times that I'm like, I just enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Sunday night, I just enjoyed the whole thing. I've zero criticisms.
Yeah.
And that was so fun. But I think that if you're a leader, you're going to lean towards improvement.
That's right.
The desire to get better, the desire to see it's good now, but it could be great. And I love that. Don't lose that. You can still have that and not be critical.
Yep.
A critical spirit is different than an improvement spirit. A critical spirit makes people feel bad. It's in the category of shame and guilt and making people feel less than. Improvement has to do with inspiration.
That's right.
Possibility,
That's right.
Excitement. Wow. It's the whole sandwich method, right?
Yep.
I got some bread.
Yep.
I got some turkey.
I know this.
And I got some bread, right?
Yep.
Hey, you're the best. Love you so much. What happened? but man, do I stinking love you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And rather than just like criticism, negativity,
Yeah.
you can't work with that.
So true.
And I think like when when your basis is a critical perspective, you run the risk of becoming a cynic.
That's it.
Where, if it's good to think critically,
Of course.
and to look at things with a zoomed in lens and for improvement. But when you move over to cynical, you're looking with the assumption that it's already wrong.
That's right.
Already bad.
Yeah.
And that takes so much time to remove that lens. I don't know if I can remember people who come back from that.
You're right. And I always think like, I got to be careful with criticism because oh man, watch this. It just starts to affect every area of my life. I can't be critical about my workspace and not take it home.
Wow.
So you develop a critical spirit. So now you're just critical about everything. Critical about social media, critical about my family, critical about my friends, critical about my spouse, critical. Just now I'm carrying a critical spirit.
And then everyone around you is on edge.
On it, yeah, like, oh man.
Yeah, their confidence is shocked. Now they're doing their job not to be criticized.
Yep.
Instead of trying to do their job
out of excellence.
And I always think like, wouldn't you rather, as a leader, I think we should have an encouraging spirit.
Yeah,
I feel so big. Yeah, I feel so encouraged. I feel so accepted. I feel so welcomed. I feel so appreciated.
I want to do my best because
I love that idea. I think a couple episodes we were talking about, you don't remember, you were very tense and shy.
You should have been behind the camera.
Yeah, you look like you just saw deer in headlights. I'm over
my first podcast.
Well, good luck finding your dad, buddy. But we're talking about people. Good leaders let you know that you're needed, but great leaders make you feel needed.
Yeah, that's
and it's
so
like
good.
it's the difference between a good leader is like, I need you. A great leader makes you feel needed.
Is that just celebration? Celebration kills that critical spirit.
Yeah, I think celebrating. I think I love this one. Gratitude is the breeding ground for miracles. So when you have a critical spirit, you lose that grateful spirit.
Right.
I'm so glad that I have what I have. I'm so grateful for our little itty bitty nation. I'm so glad. I'm so grateful for my life, for my friends, my family. And if I lose that, I get critical of it, I lose everything.
Yeah.
So I think you combat that with gratitude. Here's the fourth one: comparing. Comparison is the thief of joy. I understand that you are forced to watch other people's life and it's thrusted into your face, their highlight reel of success. It's not their real life. It's their highlight reel. No one shows you their problems their insecurities and their weaknesses on social media. They throw you a curated vision of who they even want to be.
Yeah.
They're a lot of times on social media, people aren't even projecting who they are. They're projecting who they want to be.
Right.
So I know you have to kind of bump that up against your apartment and your life and your bank account and your community and your spouse. And that's its own slew of issues. So you got to deal with that in, your own regard. I just think it's so foolish to compare yourself with anybody because you didn't start when they started.
Yeah.
You don't have their last name. You didn't start with their inheritance. You don't have their gift mix. You don't have their Enneagram. So again, my only competition is me.
So true.
Yeah.
And I think when you start getting into that comparison trap, because I'll call it a trap, when you start comparing yourself, you stop appreciating yourself.
Wow.
Because you're looking at their strengths and you never go like, I have the same strength. I'm just as good as that. You take their strength and you bump it against your weakness.
Wow.
I wish that you go, man, they're so great at that. So am I.
Yeah.
I really don't enjoy leaders that speak down about themselves. I really don't enjoy being around people that speak negative about themselves. I believe that as I think I am, I am. So I will never use harsh or critical tones about myself. I'm not where they're at, or I'm not as good, or I'm just, well, it must be nice, or just, that's such an exposure to a small soul.
Wow.
When you love yourself and love who you are, you can appreciate and not compare.
Yeah.
And I think that's health to me. Going like, you should be impressed with your friends and be impressed with people around you and be, wow, look at the gifting, look at the talent, all the while going like, and I love mine.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the whole lie that like, if your light is shining bright, somehow that makes my light dim.
Yeah, yeah.
What a lie. That's
Such
what
a lie.
comparison tells you.
Yep.
But when you have appreciation, you appreciate, I'm shining really bright and I've got my own megaphone for my life and I love yours too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so cool.
That's really good.
I'd rather live that way. But when you got someone on your team that's always in that comparison, always comparing, wow, they get to leave early. Well, they get this treatment. Well, they got to preach this many times. Well, they get to lead worship. Well, they get to sit there. They got to go on a trip. They got to. We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because nothing will satisfy.
Yeah.
It's the insatiable desire to be needed. It's the insatiable desire to be on the inside. It will never be enough.
It's such a spiral when it starts.
It's
too.
the thief of joy. And we just watched Inside Out 2 yesterday at my house. I loved
So
it. I
good.
finally watched it. And I got to tell you, I think joy is right. Get sadness and all the embarrassment, get them out of here. They can't drive. Joy's like, you're missing the whole point of the movie. I'm like, no, I'm not. Joy rules.
I still haven't seen it.
It's so good.
Nate,
Maybe
put
tonight.
him behind
Maybe
the,
tonight's the night.
You need to go behind
Maybe
the camera
tonight's the
now
night.
for real.
Last one, number 5, chatter. Chatter. Chatter is the gossiper. I wrote down, even a whisperer separates the closest of friends. So the chatter is the chatterbox. They love the water cooler. They love the gossip. They love to get an inside scoop. They love the chatter. Some people just born to gossip. And I get it, because gossip is a delicacy. It's a dessert. It tastes so good.
Wow.
When someone says to me, hey, I haven't told anybody this yet, but I want to tell you, I just get like,
You do one of these.
wait a second, hold on.
That's so mad.
Yeah, you're right. You're just
so
like,
mad.
but I don't want to play it cool right now because I can't. I'm level 10 excited.
Yeah.
No one else knows but me. I don't believe it, but tell me.
Which means, hey, don't tell anybody means I've told a lot of people.
I have a friend recently that one of his staff made a big mistake and got chattery. Is that a word?
Chattery?
It is now.
It is in our nation.
I like it.
Start chatter. And the thing about someone that talks, they never talk to one.
Yeah.
So just remember, if they're talking to you, they're talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
And so this staff member starts running the mouth, running. And by the time this guy found out what had gone on, the guy talked to eight people.
Oh, wow.
They had to go follow up with 8
Jeez.
people.
Who probably talked to
8
8 other people.
people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, 64 people?
And do you ooh.
Teacher Maddie. I was about to say, you better hit me with that.
But all from this cancer that got on their team.
Yeah.
What's driving that? I always think when the chattering starts going, I know I'm on the inside. I got the scoop. I found out. Loves the drama, loves the issues, wants to be, and got to 8 of them. Isn't that something else? Not 1, not 2, 8. That's a cancer on the team. So the Bible's clear. Stay away from a divisive person. Because a divisive person, you want to know what they're going to keep doing? Dividing. They can't help themselves.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know how to build unity or build a bridge or be any sort of trustworthy or use discretion or discernment if it slapped them in the face. So be very careful of people on your team that have that chatter. I don't know if I told the story here on Leadership Leading, but one of my favorite stories is about, I have a friend that leads a church, and this Grammy award-winning worship leader started coming to church. So they were so excited to join, they invited someone from the worship team over to the house. They got the meal all ready, and they've got a beautiful house, because they won a Grammy, it's nice. And so they invite the people over from the worship team to go sit down there. A couple minutes into the dinner, and the invited guests start talking trash about the pastors of their church.
Oh, wow.
We're a couple minutes in. And the host, the Grammy award-winning worship leader, sits up from the table and says, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to ask you to leave my house. We don't speak about our pastors like that in our house. Please get up and remove yourself from the table, and dismissed him out the house. And I always think that right there is very rare. That right there is backbone.
Yeah, that's best case
What
scenario.
a
Moxie.
statement. Yeah.
Statement. You're not spreading that cancer in my house.
Yeah.
You're not talking bad about leaders in my home. You're not going to embed and put that seed in my heart. Does
That's
that
right.
make sense? The thing you have to understand about teams is there's going to be people on your team that you are big in their eyes. And then one day you become small in their eyes. What changed? You did not change. Somebody's opinion about you got embedded into them.
That's right.
Wow.
And now they see you the way that person sees you. And they can't even think for themselves anymore. So you got to protect your team from this cancer, the cancer of chatter, gossip, slander, division, all those things, because it's real.
Yeah.
And I have watched my life be big in some seasons, in some people's hearts and eyes, and then go small. And it wasn't, my behavior never changed.
Right.
My character never
Right.
changed.
Right.
My home never. Somebody put something in them. And so I think you got to guard your team from this. This is a big deal. These are cancerous things that just destroy the unity, the momentum, the possibility, and the potential of what you could develop into become.
Yeah.
right.
And what would you say would be step one for someone who has like a chatty Cathy on their team?
I think the first thing you have to do is address it.
Okay.
Head on. Hey, so it has come to my attention. You're a chatty Cathy.
Yeah.
And I got a sound bite for you.
Yeah, I think this is something.
So did you say this? Because so-and-so has reported to me that you did.
Yep.
That gives them the ability to go, I said that, I'm sorry.
Right.
Or I didn't say that. You did. Okay, well then let's just all meet. Because I
Right.
got to find
Let's
out.
clear the air.
And I've done this many times. Hey, so you told me, and then they get caught.
Right.
But the other thing that happens, let's say they admit it. We just let them know, hey, just by the way, this one time, total forgiveness.
Yeah.
You do something like this again, it's going to just be, it has to be, right?
Yeah.
Because we love the team. We love you, of course.
Yep.
But more than me loving you, I
Yep.
love the team more.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. I love the team more than you.
Yep.
It's about we, not about me.
Yep.
And so you have to have, that is the hard part about leadership is accountability.
So true.
The hard part about leading is follow up, policing the culture. Anybody could tell me that the culture is X, Y, and Z. Okay, when someone doesn't live up to it, how do you handle it?
Yeah.
Can I just say this too? I think it's really important, and I think this is what you practice all the time. Oh, not that we have chatters all the time, but like
no,
when
you
people
deal
do-
with stuff, yeah.
No, when people do, it's never, hey, I heard that you've been talking. It's, this is specifically what was said
Yeah.
Yeah.
from this person. Can you please
Give me context.
reconcile this?
Yeah.
Let me know what,
Clarify.
give me context. Because if someone is a chatter, they will talk themselves out of vague. If you just give a vague
100%.
feeling, oh, well, I just, they misheard, or,
Yeah.
hey, no, actually, this is exactly what was said.
Yep.
Address this, please.
Yep. And I think what I have learned in leadership is the worst, weakest leaders avoid. The best leaders I know attack.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got to wake up and attack each day with a great enthusiasm that is unknown to man.
Yeah.
And so I don't do it. It's not personal.
Right.
Does that make sense? A lot of times I think the chatter person, they're not mad at me. They're mad at their life. They're mad at their world. They're mad at their
There's a level of escapism
decisions.
to it.
Yeah. There's escapism. So I got to help them. I got to serve them. I'm not serving them if I don't confront them.
Yeah.
So these are some cancers that we're just saying, maybe just, watch out. We love you so much. You're the greatest. We'll see you next episode.